Hey, what's going on, guys? And happy Halloween, and welcome to another Paper Movie Single Cut. I'm Adam, and I'll be the host for this one. Also, I just want to point out Jeremy also posted a Halloween single cut. He posted his review for Halloween Kills, so be sure to go check that out. Also, on his channel, he recently posted a review for The Howling, so definitely go check that out as well. Now, for this single cut, I'll be discussing the novelization to the 80s classic film Fright Night. Fright Night, the novelization was written by Skipp and Craig Spector and based on the screenplay by Tom Holland. No, not the guy that played Spider Man. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Now, the story of Fright Night revolves around Charlie Brewster. He is a high school horror film fanatic. But when his new neighbor named Jerry Dandridge moves in, he becomes very suspicious of him, especially since there's been some recent murders in the news. His suspicions are confirmed when he discovers that Jerry is a vampire, but no one believes him, not the police or his family or friends. And not even the famous Peter Vincent, a TV star for the show called Fright Night, and Peter Vincent is claimed to be a vampire expert. Now, will Charlie be able to expose Jerry for the monster that he is, or will it be too late for Charlie? Now, before I give you guys my thoughts, I do want to apologize in advance. I'm sure you probably have noticed right now that my voice is a little off. I just got over being sick, feeling a lot better, but still a little bit groggly in the throat there. So I do apologize if my voice isn't 100%. Also, want to let you know that there will be some mild spoilers in this review, so if you don't want to be spoiled in any way, then I would recommend either watching the film or reading the novelization before you listen to this review. But if you don't care about spoilers, then here we go. So right off the bat, I want to say that I actually have never seen this film up until a couple of weeks ago. And I was actually really impressed with it, mostly with all of the fun special effects, especially with all of the vampire scenes, like all the makeup and everything. It I just thought it was and I really did enjoy the story. So right up, I was just kind of curious how the novelization would play out, and I have to say, guys, the novelization is really good. It was a solid read. The authors did a very fantastic job with this one. Now, I'm not going to say that I enjoyed it as much as the movie, but I'm not, saying that, it was worse than the film or anyway, if that makes sense. I'm just saying that personally I enjoyed the film more. But as far as the book goes, the pacing was well done. It was very, to the point with, how some novelizations could be like, it could be completely different than the movie. It could be almost 100% identical to the movie, and there's some novelizations that are kind of a nice mix of both, and this is where I would consider Fright Night to be in that category. It was a nice blend of, being faithful to the film, but, adding a touch of something different here and there, and I really did appreciate that. Now, some of the nitpicks that I have aren't necessarily with the novelization, but with the story in general. One of the biggest ones is, and here's where we're going to start getting into a little bit of spoilers, but once Jerry discovers that Charlie is aware of, who he is, Jerry attempts to, reason with him in a matter of speaking. He offers for Charlie, if you stay out of my business, then I'll leave you alone, which I was a little, weirded out by that at first because that kind of really seems uncharacteristic of a vampire. That's how I felt at first, but, I can understand probably why, he would do something like that in the story because, with all the murders going on in the news, he probably didn't want to draw any more attention than what's already been drawn towards him in the first place. And honestly, I remember even Count Dracula offering for Van Helsing to skip town once Van Helsing discovered that he's a vampire too. So, at first that was kind of a nitpick, but, I kind of just was like, okay, I got over it, so to speak. Now, another thing that I wasn't necessarily a fan of was the ending. And again, some spoilers, but after, the vampire has been destroyed, Charlie and his girlfriend Amy are in his bedroom and they're about to get in bed. But Charlie looks into the house where Jerry used to live and he sees some red eyes glowing. And those eyes vanish. And in the novelization, like Charlie, just kind of plays it off as it was nothing, and then that's where the book ends. But in the movie, those red eyes reappear, and it kind of gives you that hint as to who that vampire is in that house. Now, I'm not going to spoil any more than that, but I did notice that change, and I kind of wish that the novelization included that, but I do understand why they may have not wanted to add that in the book. And another thing, again, this is more of a nitpick towards the story itself, but there was a couple of inconsistencies, I thought, where regarding some of the myths about vampires. Mostly, the fact that they're repelled by religious artifacts. Like Peter Vincent uses a cross to defend himself against a vampire, and it, easily works on him. The vampire gets injured and is repelled by it. But when he tries to use it on Jerry, it has no effect on him, and Jerry, laughs at him, saying that won't work on me unless you have faith that it'll work. And that was that was a little bit of a plot hole, in my opinion, because if it worked easily on the other vampire, then why wouldn't it work on Jerry? Because then when Charlie grabbed the cross, it actually started working. I know that there could be an argument made that Jerry was a more powerful vampire, so he's probably not as easily repelled by religious artifacts than the other vampires are. So, again, those were just nitpicks, but they didn't really ruin the experience of reading this book. The book is a really solid read, and again, I think it's a good blend of how I think a novelization should be, which is, again, very faithful to the film, but, maybe adding a touch of something different here and there. Now, for my rating, I'm going to give the novelization to Fright Night by John Skipp and Craig Spector 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really do recommend this book. I think you guys will enjoy it. It'd be a good Halloween read or just a good read in general. Now, I actually listened to the audiobook version of this. From my understanding, I know that the original printed novelization is hard to find. So if you need a good way to get this book, I know that you can download it digitally on like your Kindle app or something, or you can go to Audible and get the audiobook, which is what I did. The audiobook was produced by Encyclopocalypse, and this isn't a ad or anything, but I just want to give Encyclopocalypse a shout out because they recently have produced some audiobooks to some novelizations like Fright Night, as I just mentioned, Wishmaster, and Reanimator, which is one that we discussed last year on Paper Movies. And they also produced some audiobooks to some classic original horror novels like The Wolfen, The Howling, and more. As a matter of fact, Jeremy actually has read some of their original novels and done reviews on some of Encyclopocalypse's novels, and even interviewed some of their authors. So be sure to go to his channel and check out those reviews. So guys, again, thank you all so much. I hope that you enjoyed this single cut of Fright Night. And also, one more thing, the audiobook for Fright Night is about 4.5 hours, so I do think that you could probably get through this book in a very short amount of time. Like I said, it's a very easy and compelling read, and again, I just think you guys will enjoy it. But guys, thank you all so much. Hope you all have a happy Halloween. Be sure to have lots of fun and stay safe out there, and we will see you guys next time.